What is up, everybody? It is Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe show. And this morning, happy Good Friday to those who celebrate around the world. I am one of the two hosts of the Morning Vibe. And what we do here at the Morning Vibe is right now, Monday and Friday mornings at 9 a.m. Eastern time, we just give you a good morning vibe, whether it's having people on that will give you great vibes, or myself and my co-host who's not here today, maybe taking the day off, Ryan, on Good Friday. We have great conversations between ourselves on topics we feel are of importance. But today, do you ever spend a long period of time, if you're ever a host, of getting someone you want to have on your platform by themselves? Well, this lady is finally, maybe it's a blessing because it is Good Friday. God has blessed us with her today. Let me give a little background before we bring her on. Sylvia Parris-Drummond. She's the president of SVPARRIS Consulting and the CEO of the Delmore Daye Learning Institute. Her work in education, strategic facilitation, and the community is rooted in the core Africentric principles. She has a successful history of collaboration with the communities and stakeholders with whom she has worked. We could go long, like the bio would take up most of the conversation piece today, but we'll get to it really quick. That just recently she was a recipient of the RBC Women of Influence 2020 Social Change Award, recognized by the Halifax Chamber of Commerce and Who's Who in Black Canada. She has been featured in such publications as the Chronicle Herald, Amplify East, and Share News. I've known of this lady for a long time. I finally got a chance to meet her. I think it was last year, about a year and a half ago, and she was dancing. And I'm going, it doesn't surprise me. But we are so blessed and highly favored to have Sylvia Parris-Drummond with us this morning from the East. Good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Vibe.
How are you?
I am well. And I too acknowledge that this is a special weekend for folks in terms of religion and faith, and it is for me. It is a kind of a grounding time, a special time. So thank you for the opportunity to be chatting with you.
Blessing. And there's some people saying Happy Good Friday from Nadine Spencer from the Black Business Professional Association. She's asking, have you had your fish yet?
Yeah, the fish is on for brunch. It'll be fish all day.
Great. Also saying hello, great speaker and carer of the community here in Toronto, Jeff Martin. Good morning. And Nadine is going with your bun and cheese.
Right on mark.
Oh, there you go. Well, like I have said, I've wanted to have this lady on my platform for years. Like I've been on other platforms with her when she sings. Like every time I'm with Sylvia, there's another talent, another gift that I hear about. And we don't have the time today to get into the background. So we're going to get right into it today because we've got a limited amount of time. You wanted to chat today about entrepreneurship, and women. Why did you want to chat about that today?
Yeah, I think that there's always it's always the right time to be talking about the building from passion to do the things that we want to do. And so I think for women, Black women in leadership, we always start with passion. And so this idea of being an entrepreneur, we often talk about it as kind of our side hustle. And a great friend and colleague, Tash, has said to me, it's a smart hustle. So in general, like that is about us trying to do the things that we need to do, we want to do in a way that is always built on kind of values. And as I said, in passion. And so sometimes when we're located in a day job, as we colloquially say it, it's like done in a intrapreneur way. And when we're just doing it, solely outside there, it's an entrepreneur business. And I've had the experience of doing both. And what stays common in both is the energy that comes with the passion for the work. And I love my work. within my community. I love my work with sisters across. And so I just thought, let's just think a little bit about how that impacts um, the economy. I think we're still looking for the best way to demonstrate that we contribute to the economy, and how it impacts kind of change, right? And transformation for folks.
Wonderful, wonderful opening. When did you realize in your journey that at least entrepreneurship would be part of your journey?
It really kind of grew out of volunteer work. So it was been doing this for a while, having this business that you mentioned as an entrepreneur, SVPARRIS Consulting. And that really started because I saw some need for facilitation, training, education around equity, addressing policy related issues around racism and unfortunately, we know we're talking more explicitly about that in this current year. And unfortunately, it's been going on for a while. So I was doing that in a volunteer space. I found two things. I found that when I took it up in a business way, it actually increased its kind of credibility. People seem to hear it better. And I could also offer a space to support community because you would be able to hire folks and bring them on to work with you. You could give exposure. So that's kind of how it started. And then along my work journey and my study journey, because I did degree work, and one of them was Black women in leadership. Womanism is what showed up strongly. And so there was lots of places where these things kind of intersected with each other. And then most recently, Dr. Vibe, I've been thinking about frameworks and stuff because, policy is an important piece of work that I do in all of the spaces that I'm at, whether we name it or not. It's a thing that's about change. So I've been thinking about the connection between my rootedness in community, the recognition of where we come, our ancestors, and understanding being centered in an African way. And this, what are we talking about now in the current way of how we bring about change? How we affect that emotional way, change for folks. So it's just seemed the time again to be talking more and doing some more planning around taking that passion, that lived experience, the training, and bundling it up in a good way.
Wonderful. You don't go for the low hanging fruit. Going into policy and racism, like racism is one thing, but the policy aspect. What attracted you to the policy aspect of anti-Black racism?
So one of the important things about policy is getting the question right. And while you're working to get the question right, you're engaging with folks and you're in this space about drawing from people's lived experiences, holding it so that we can be uncomfortable. We can be comfortable with the uncomfortable conversations, right? To hold to it. And so then once we get that question right, other things fall out of it. So to me, I mean, that's your nub of policy, and that's what's really important. And so folks who are in structures and institutions and say, we're committed to, we're authentic in our ask for change, then that's policy stuff. You need to also understand the mechanics of it and the nuances of working it. That's why you work with someone like myself in terms of helping you through that. But there is this space where we're together saying, what's the issue? What, in terms of system asking itself questions, what's my contribution to that issue and keeping it going? And then how do I engage with the folks who are knowledge holders to make the change? I don't go to them and ask them to tell me the solution. I go with some kind of thought about ideas, possibilities. I check in on them and confirm them, and then I fill in the gaps, and then we go forward together in the work. So I just love how it gives like us a chance in our centeredness and in our community to be thinking about that, because we stand on values, we stand on appreciation of our worldviews. For me, in this, intra entrepreneur work, I really try to hold true to the word Ubuntu, which is about, in essence, our humanities are intertwined. and my success is your success. So if I can continue to talk and operate in a way that is mirroring those things, demonstrating that way of being, those are change places, and those contribute to that policy discussion.
Great, great. Let me ask, let's compare when you started your intrapreneur entrepreneur journey compared to Black women who are starting it now.
Mm. Oh, that's an excellent thing to think about. A great question. As I said, for me, it's 25 plus years, like in terms of when that I moved from volunteering with the stuff that I was doing into an established business. So there was different times in terms of knowledge level, what we were hearing people talk about in public. None of us are surprised to know that the social media has really opened up the space to uncover, disclose the things that are happening. So I think there's those kind of practical, technical things that are different. I also think that we have been having more explicit conversations about how we support each other, lift each other. As the saying goes, lift as you climb, whatever, right? And being collaborative for each other. So for Black women who are entering in this space today, I think they enter with kind of strengths and knowledge that maybe in my youth time, at that time, that I didn't necessarily have, or I didn't know that I had. Because that's the other thing, is we're encouraging people, speak your truths about your strengths. I've had the chance to say in a previous experience about this word humble. I will always hold that we need to be humble in our spaces, because for me, it recognizes that we didn't get here on our own and that we won't progress on our own. However, do not shy away from acknowledging the work that you've done. You've done volunteerism, you've done study for your work. You hold your space in terms of what you've individually have done to get to where you are, and to hold to your vision of where you're going. So from my understanding of humility, it says that it's okay to be validating, not okay, you should be validating what you do. And along that journey and in that conversation, we acknowledge that there is going to be someone, sometimes known, sometimes not known, who have been part of that journey too, however you define success.
Excellent. Going to go a little bit further in regards to challenge. Like, what are some of the challenges that you faced initially in your journey still there today when it comes? Do you see that with Black women getting into the entrepreneur? Are some of the same challenges still there? And if they're not, what are the challenges? The challenges that you're
Mm.
hearing from Black women today when it comes to that area?
Mm. Certainly the challenges of expectations, right? Though I think those are still there. I think there's going to continue to be, there continues to be this kind of, the statement that we had around, you have to be twice as good to show up, in the workspaces. So there's still aspects of that is there, that women, Black women, still need to kind of overcome. I had some, individual, like personal challenges, like around things with a visual disability. So that was kind of a personal challenge for me. But what I realized, again, and kind of reflecting back on things, excuse me, it's there's a mindset here. And I know folks may be somewhat familiar with some of the research work that is done around growth mindsets, and there's been great talk about that. And I think if people look a little more deeply into that, you'll see some connection between the growth mindset and the worldview values of Afrocentricity, right? I've seen cross connects with them. But in essence, in terms of like what we might encounter, there's still the systemic issues, right? So within the structures, as I said, there's expectations, there's an appreciation about the uniqueness of our voices, Black women voices, and how we are with community and supportive of community. We have so much to offer. We have such strengths, and sometimes from the outside perception, they get diminished. They're not valued for what we have to offer. We need to just to continue to walk strong in that and know who we are and value who we are and see the challenges, see the opportunity in the challenges that present to us, right, and growth for us, and not to be. I don't want that to be heard either in like kind of like, oh, there's no problem. We'll just push on through it. Well, so there's a part of that I'm saying, but the other part of that is about our expectations of who we encounter, right? That you should see me for the value that I have to offer, and coming in with, well, why wouldn't you, right? And if you don't, that's that's you who is encountering me. That's your issue to address. That's not my issue, right? I come with passion. I come with knowledge. I come with lived experience. I have so much to offer you as a Black woman standing inside of you, giving you the opportunity to encourage me to come and work and be in your space. That's the kind of like hold your head up high, honoring your ancestors approach that we need to take, because that is what has got us here in terms of resilience, resistance, and possibilities.
I like that. Resilience, and possibilities. Sounds like a good tagline for you, by the way. One of the challenges that I've heard are growing, especially from a number of Black Canadian women that are in this, entrepreneur, is dealing with banks.
Mm-hmm.
I was privy to a number of conversations, especially during Black History Month, hearing of not the experiences of Black women, not only just in the workplace, but also the entrepreneur space, about in regards to getting money.
Mm-hmm.
Can
mm-hmm.
you speak at all to that? And I know that you did receive an award from RBC. So, but can you speak? Are you comfortable speaking to that conversation a little bit today?
Yeah. Well, I'm happy to at least know a bit of in terms of some of the things that we are doing again collectively for ourselves, like the Black Opportunities Fund that I understand is evolving. There's been a creative directed use of some of the funds that people have been able to access from the federal government. So through this intermediaries, and here in Nova Scotia, the Black Business Initiative is one of those three bodies across the country that are helping distribute funds. And again, I've seen promotion for funds focused to in terms of the Black Women's Network, in terms of kind of community together. But I got to tell you, there is, and I don't want this to be heard in kind of like, oh, it's a simple address, because it's so complex, whatever, right? The work that we do, holding to your vision and being clear of your vision is really an important piece in regards to addressing many struggles that we'll encounter, many challenges. So financing is one of them. Maybe establishing yourself as a leader in the particular profession that you're in. So, but it's so important to be like confirm about like, this is my vision, this is where I'm going to go, and continue to go that path. So you asked before about kind of what might be different in my beginning times and now, and I don't think that that this is a difference. I'm just not sure had clearly that it's showing up. But we came together to support each other. So we seeded each other as well in terms of, and that could be like dollars in a basket that we share. It could be like opening doors up in terms of giving people the opportunity to show their skills and show their strength. I think there is things to learn, like getting back to kind of the policy piece of it. It's really important to kind of learn and understand how the structures are going, and then figure out what will work for you within those structures. You don't necessarily have to kind of, shape yourself up into something that doesn't work for you. Don't do that. Like that, you won't be able to hold to that. Go on to things that will work for you in terms of structures and spaces. And certainly, again, like I see, Dr. Vibe, I see circulated, like, in medium promotions, opportunities for Black women and for entrepreneurship. right?
Yeah, I will admit that, especially over the last few years, and I'm pretty sure I know that studies show that in the States that the biggest growing sector when it comes to entrepreneurship is Black women, and I have a feeling if we had those stats done here, I'd say probably the same thing. So, are you? I'm seeing it, but I want to obviously hear it from you because you probably speak with more women than I do. A growing energy, a growing unity about
Mm.
Black women when it comes to entrepreneurship and entrepreneurship.
Yeah, there is numerous hosted online spaces. I mean, this world of online has really also, I think, created uh, opportunity for folks in ways that may not have existed before. I mean, here locally in Nova Scotia, we have, like, you know, we have a rich history here of being here in a long, you know, over a long generationally, right, over a long period of time, and so we can speak from a lived experience about how people would have, women and Black community in general, and this one came together and supported each other and kind of helped thrive. So I think that that is there as well. But there's like platforms where people kind of are hosted together to brainstorm, to support each other in questions. There's been women here who have taken up mentoring in a unique way, where it's like kind of not just a one-on-one that we might traditionally think about in mentoring, but have mentor collections of women. You know, they hear stories and then they put that information together. There's women who have established platforms so that people can come together and understand the practicalities of establishing a business, right? So just kind of general things, and then they're national and international as well. So there's multiple forums for that, and for people to gain information and to share their information. So I think that in this time as well is probably a space that is contributing to the development. And you're right, like the statistics, I think will bear out as well. What I think we all want to be mindful about, and again, it goes to my kind of a value in terms of understanding your values, your principles, and holding to your vision. You want to you want to be going towards funds or accepting funds, for example, that are in line with that, right?
Mm.
And that and stuff. And so not everything will be for you, and that will be fine. But you'll be able to find things that are for you, that support you, because you don't want to. You're not going to go on a linear path, but you don't want to be
No.
like too far off that path, and you're wondering about, well, what happened? I started out this way, I had my plan, and now I'm kind of lost in that. So just like keep your own check-in. And the beautiful thing about us in community is that there's always someone who wants to support someone. So don't be afraid to ask for support.
I think you said you've been dropping knowledge bombs throughout our conversation. I love what you said. Don't be afraid to ask. And especially entrepreneur and entrepreneurship is, for very, very few people, is a linear path.
Mm-hmm.
As I say to people, don't let the opportunities define your objectives, because there's going to be
Thank
things
you.
that are going to
Right.
come that you don't expect, and things that you don't expect along the way. It's not a straight line. It's more like a snake.
Mm-hmm.
It's more like a snake.
Yeah.
What?
And
Go ahead.
could I just wanted to add into something anyway, just peek for this moment. So,
Sure.
you know, taking care of yourself is
Mm-hmm.
really important as well. However that is, don't let somebody define that for you either. Know what that is yourself. But that's really an important thing. Is that self-care and that re-energizing, however that will help for you, because that also will keep you on your path. And again, kind of to the the mindset, the thinking forward thing. If you encounter something, like you encounter something at the moment, and it really doesn't have a category that it fits under good, bad. It's a something. I suggest that there's an opportunity in that something to go forward. I don't know what it is. We don't know how it is, but
And it's
but it's
different for
not. Yeah,
everybody.
right. You know, it doesn't fit necessarily like under. It's so many times for us, or at least it's been for me. Um, it's the reflection back that really informs me about what something was like. However, it was because I was intentional and in holding to direction that didn't that would have been like maybe a negative thing didn't totally pull me down. It's not like you can't need to like say, hey, just a minute, closing the door, staying on the sofa for a little while.
Yeah.
You can say that, but yeah, I think it's important to remember that aspect about self-care and however that shows up for you to follow that.
So since you brought up the self-care, give us one of the self-care things that you do.
So for me, if you did any of those personality testings, whatever, I always come out as an introvert. And the aspect of the introvert is that we like to kind of be into ourselves, reflecting and thinking, and that rejuvenates us, re-energizes us. So it's like that kind of time, like whether it's reading some passages in terms of my faith, it's reading more broadly, it's listening to some music, it's like blaring the music and dancing in the kitchen. Like,
I would so like, I know that happens. We've got to get a video of that one day. I know that happens.
But it's like, yeah. So in general, it's kind of like thinking about like what is important to myself, and then following that. And family, faith, and community are all important to me. And I try very hard not to stray from values that hold to those.
Wonderful. Well, I know it's Good Friday, so we want to take up too much of your time. Do you have any final words for our audience today? And I'm going to put her contact information at the bottom of the screen, Parris Consulting 2016@gmail.com. Any final words you'd have for our audience today?
Yeah, so I think I would say to especially to my Black sisters who are out there, that if there is ever a time that you need to look at someone who can say back to you, you have so much to offer, you have such strength, I suggest you just go to the mirror, because that person is within you.
Wow, did she leave with a knowledge bomb, Sylvia Parris-Drummond? So good to finally have you here. And yeah, don't be a stranger, though I did have you on another platform a few weeks ago, but I got a win today. I win today. I got her for a few moments. I love it. Well, look,
Thank
Sylvia,
you.
I'd like to thank,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I thank you, because I love the way you make the conversation easy, and help, and it just really helps to bring things out. I feel like we're around this like table, like the way we do things in community,
Yes.
have a nice kitchen chat and stuff. And I encourage people to follow me as well.
Yes, that's right. I know.
Yeah.
On Twitter, and she has a great Twitter handle, Sister Who Leads. I like when I first saw it go, it's so apropos. Sister Who Leads on Instagram. I thought, it's all that. Like, it's all that. Like, I'm going, that does not surprise. Like, Sylvia's all that. Sister Who Leads. So thank you so much. All right. So we're going to come back and say, hey, it's Dr. Vibe. I am the co-host of The Morning Vibe, myself and Ryan Oneil Knight. Ryan's not with us today, but he'll be back with us on Monday. And I'd like to say thank you to people who chimed in, some of the people who chimed in live, Natalia, Nadine, Jeff, thank you for watching live. And those I didn't catch, it's because of my head, not my heart. So I'd like to say thank you to everybody today. If you are celebrating Good Friday, Easter, happy. And if you're not, happy again. And also, too, as always, I like to end off my conversations with this. Live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get smaller, get stronger. Block assumptions, then aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. Love, faith, and respect, and remember to give yourself grace. If you want to contact me directly, that's where you can go to my website. And as I said, we will be back on Monday, myself and Ryan. And we look forward to having another epic conversation. God bless, peace well, keep the faith, and walk good.